What's going on, gamers? We're looking at the 49ers depth chart here, and in this new video series that I'm doing, I'm going to be talking about each team's roster. So I'm going to do a video per each team, and we're going to talk about some depth chart advice and how these ratings would affect the scheme I would run. So first, we're going to start with the quarterback position. We got Colin Kaepernick. The main things I'm going to look at quarterback are always just speed and acceleration, and then their throwing accuracy. So here we see that Colin Kaepernick is the fastest quarterback, and he's also going to have the highest acceleration. So we're going to want to use him whenever we're running read options or anything of that nature. And then as far as the throw ratings, we're going to have Kaepernick with the highest throw power. He's not going to have the highest short throw accuracy, but he does have the highest medium and deep accuracy. So for the most part, you want to use Colin Kaepernick at quarterback. Never really a need to use Colt McCoy or anybody else. At running back, we got Frank Gore. At the running back position, I'm going to look at speed, and then I'm going to look mainly for the carry rating, and then probably trucking and acceleration. So for speed, we're looking at LaMichael James going to be the fastest guy, but let's look at acceleration because that's also going to play a big role in this. So again, LaMichael James has the highest acceleration and speed, so you might consider using him on maybe a toss or anything, maybe like a counter where you need to get out the backfield. You don't want to get caught from behind, especially with the dive tackles. And then as far as trucking, obviously Gore is going to have the most of that. And then as far as carrying, Frank Gore is going to have the best carry rating, so you want to use him when you do not want to risk fumbling. Now let's look at the fullback. I'm not going to really focus too much on here. If he's not better than one of your running backs, you might as well just package in a running back, and then if you want to do some sort of fullback dive. As far as wide receiver, what I mainly look for here is speed, as well as some of the catching ratings and route running. So our fastest guy is going to be Mario Manningham, and he's also tied with AJ Jenkins. As far as catching, we're going to have Anquan Boldin with the best catching. So he's the guy you want to throw to if you really need to make sure that you catch the ball. Maybe even if he's covered well, he might still hold on to the pass. So Anquan Boldin's going to be that guy. And then he's also going to have the highest route running, but Mario Manningham's also going to have good route running. This is going to play a big role when it comes to running out routes, especially against good corners. Basically any route that beats man, if you're playing against a good corner, you're going to have good route running. As far as the tight end, you got a lot of speed here, so that's good. You got height, so he's going to be fun to throw to across the middle of the field, especially underneath deep zones and stuff like that on all zone defenses. And his catch is going to be pretty decent as well. It's actually not great. Let's see what it is here. 78. So he's not going to hold on to anything where he gets hit really hard with. So let's move on to the offensive line. The offensive line is great here. I pretty much just look for overall ratings. Don't really focus too much on all the other blocking ratings. So the offensive line is really good across the board. So you could run whichever side, and you could really count on them holding their blocks. Defensive line, I don't really focus on this too much unless you're doing some sort of defensive end nano or defensive tackle nano. Then maybe I would mess with this as far as putting somebody faster or maybe skinnier in these positions to see if you get any better effect. Then again, to really know, you'd have to time with a stopwatch. But either way, we're moving on to the linebackers. So we got Ahmad Brooks. He is 76 speed, and then Patrick Willis 90 speed, and Alden Smith 84 speed. What I mainly look at the linebacker position for is speed. So Patrick Willis is going to be your fastest guy by far, and so we definitely want to use him. Let's look at his catching rating. A catching rating is another thing I'll look at, especially if I'm using them in coverage, because there's a lot of drop picks, so you need a higher catch rating to be able to get a high percentage of picks. So Navarro Bowman's actually going to have the highest catching out of all the linebackers, but I'm not sure how fast he is. 83 speed, so decent, but then again, he's not going to keep up with most wide receivers. So if you want to use somebody in coverage, I would highly recommend to use a corner. Most of the corners here are about the same speed as Patrick Willis. So unless you use someone like Culver, then you're pretty much stuck with around 90 speed, but you're definitely going to have better catch ratings here. So if you use one of these corners, you're going to have a better catch rating as far as being able to get a lot of interceptions and holding on to them. And then as far as safety, nothing too special here. We got Whitner and then Reed. Both of them not very fast. Let's go ahead and look at the catching ratings, the other thing I look at. So 52 and 66. So you probably want to use Eric Reed if you are going to be trying to user pick with this team. And then as far as kick return and punt returning, I would probably leave it how it is. LaMichael James, decent speed for some of the options that we have here. And probably the second most important thing is going to be the carry rating here as well. He's going to have the highest carry rating. So definitely someone you want to use if you don't want to risk fumbling at the 10-yard line. So thanks again for watching this video. Make sure you're subscribed so you can be updated with all the videos that are going to be coming up on this series. Again, we're doing every team in Madden NFL 25. I'm out.